This is Willow the whale. She was the smallest whale in her pod, and she lived in a part of the ocean that was full of life. There were beautiful coral heads everywhere, and all of the young sea creatures loved to swim between them, play hide and seek amongst them, and dive and twist through them. It was so much fun down there. And while all of Willow's whale friends loved leaping through the waves and diving deep into the sparkling blue, Willow couldn't join in. That's because Willow had a secret. She was afraid of diving into deep water. Whenever Willow's friends invited her to come play with them down below, she would shake her head and say, "No, thank you. I'm just going to stay up here and watch." And they would all look at each other and sigh. They knew how much Willow wanted to be a part of their games, but they also knew how scared she was of the deep. So they would just nod and say, "Okay," and then they would swim away. Now, this didn't make Willow feel very happy. She wished she could dive into the deep, like all of her friends. But every time she tried, her heart would start to beat very fast, and her tummy would feel like it was full of butterflies. But Willow didn't want to let her fear win. So whenever she started to feel nervous, she would take a big breath in, blow a bunch of bubbles, and then dive down as quickly as she could. One sunny morning, while Willow was watching all of her friends play, a baby sea turtle swam past her. He was laughing and playing with a little crab. And as they swam by, Willow called out, "Hi guys, what are you doing?" And the turtle looked back and said, "I'm on my way to the coral caves. Want to come with me?" And Willow smiled and said, "Oh, I'd love to, but you know I can't dive down there. I get too scared." And the turtle looked at her for a moment. Then he turned around and swam back to the caves without saying a word. Now, even though Willow had been polite and told the turtle no herself, she felt bad that she couldn't join him. So she watched as he disappeared into the caves. Just then, one of Willow's friends swam up beside her. She was a kind and gentle whale named Coral, and she always worried about Willow when she saw her feeling sad. So she asked, "What's wrong, Willow?" And Willow explained what had just happened. "I wish I could go down there and help him, but I just can't do it. I'm too scared." Coral thought for a moment. Then she took a big breath in and dove down into the deep. "Coming, Willow," she called as she disappeared from sight. Now, when Coral was down in the deep, she realized that the baby turtle was stuck in a narrow cave. It was too small for any of the bigger sea creatures to enter and help him. But it was just big enough for Coral to fit in. "Don't worry, little guy," she said. "I'll get you out of here." So Coral swam further into the cave. But as she went, the walls got narrower and narrower, and soon she couldn't move any further. She had made it as far as she could. "I'm sorry, baby turtle," she said. "I wish I could help you, but I'm too small to get you out of here. You're gonna have to wait until one of the bigger whales comes by and can pull you out." And as she turned to leave, she bumped into something soft and squishy. It was a jellyfish. And it wasn't just any jellyfish. It was a moon jelly, and it glowed with a beautiful light. "Hello," said the moon jelly. "How can I help you?" And Coral explained what had happened. "Well, I can see that you're very brave for coming to help him, but I'm afraid I can't let you leave this cave. That's because our glow is magic. And if anything leaves the cave, the magic will disappear." And Coral panicked. She didn't want to stay in the cave. She wanted to get out and tell the other whales to come and help, but the glow was fading fast. And if she left, it would vanish completely. She took a deep breath in and said, "Is there any way that I can help the baby turtle without leaving?" And the moon jelly thought for a moment. "Well, maybe. You see, the only reason we glow is to attract the tiny little fishies called plankton, which we eat for food. And it looks like you're not very good at staying still. So why don't you try to stay perfectly still, and I'll see if I can keep the glow going a little longer." And Coral nodded. She knew that even if she couldn't get the baby turtle out of the cave, she could at least help him by keeping the moon jelly's glow alive. So she took a deep breath in and closed her eyes. Just then, a voice boomed throughout the cave. "Who's there? Who's hiding in my cave?" And Coral opened her eyes. Standing before her was a wise old patch of seaweed. Hello," she said. "My name is Coral, and I'm trying to help this baby turtle over here." And the seaweed chuckled. "Helping others, are you? Well, I like the sound of that. And if you're trying to help him, then I think you should go and talk to the wise eye. He's very wise, and he might be able to help you." And with that, the seaweed swayed gently from side to side and drifted off to sleep. Coral thanked him for his help and hurried over to the wise eye. She explained her problem to him, and he listened patiently. I see. Well, I believe that there's always a solution to every problem, but it's up to you to find it. Think carefully about the tools you have available and how you might use them to help." And with that, the wise eye closed his eye, and Coral realized that he was right. She had the perfect tool, but she had been too focused on using it to help the moon jelly that she hadn't thought to use it for anything else. Taking a deep breath, she turned around and swam back to the moon jelly. As she approached, she whispered loudly, "Get ready!" And then she started to rapidly change directions, darting back and forth, making the moon jelly's glow flicker and fade. At first, the moon jelly didn't understand what Coral was doing, but as she continued to weave around it, the glow began to shine brightly once again, and Coral figured out that if she could keep moving, just like this, she could keep the glow going indefinitely. She didn't have to stay still, and she could help the baby turtle by keeping the moon jelly fed. From then on, Coral spent hours weaving and darting around the cave, keeping the moon jelly's glow bright and feeding it plenty of plankton. Soon, she was joined by 2 other seahorses, who also helped to keep the glow alive, and together they kept it up until one of the bigger whales swam by and was able to pull the baby turtle out. When they heard the splashing, Coral, the jellyfish, and the seaweed all rushed to the entrance, and there stood Willow. Her eyes were wide with worry. "Is everyone all right?" she cried. "Oh, Willow," said the jellyfish. "You came just in time. We need your help." And Coral explained what they needed her to do. At first, Willow felt nervous, but then she took a deep breath in and started to dance around the cave. Keeping the glow going was hard work, and the 3 sea creatures were exhausted. But thankfully, Willow stayed strong and didn't give up. Soon, the bigger whale came back with some more baby turtles, and they all crowded around the wise eye. "You did it, Willow," he said. "Your bravery saved that baby turtle's life, and I'm so proud of you." And with that, the wise eye gave her a big hug. Then all of the sea creatures cheered loudly, and Willow beamed with pride. She finally understood that bravery wasn't the absence of fear, but doing the right thing despite it, and now she was a hero.